rehearse timing that you can do. I just mentioned when you are rehearsing how much time you will spend on explaining a particular component that you have on the slide. That time rehearse timing can be done, and that can be put when you go to that slide animation, you can put that, and record the slideshow option is there. However, these elements right now we will not look into it for the reason that we want to just understand what are the components that is available for us uh, while we are using the basic PowerPoint for our. Then comes the review. In the review, you have the spell check, you have the research, translations, languages, new comments that you want to add. Their comments are there, and plus here review new comments will come, and show comments option also is there. And then we will go on to the view. Here in the view also you can see different views of the same slide. For example, right now it's the normal view. When we go on the outline view, this is how it looks. Then the slides show all the tiles appear. Then with the notes, in case you write some notes in the slide, it will be. Reader view is something like the slideshow, but you will see that there are black ribbons on the side. So that is how your reader's view comes. And then you have slide master. Slide master is a place where you are actually going to add components. For example, I want a border for this slide, for my main slide. Now I will go and pick up all the slides, and now I want to add a border. How will I add a border? There are different ways in which you can order. You will go to the home tab and you will pick up, for example, I want it to look like let me look at a component where it is looking like a perfect rounded on the top, and it is like this is going to be my border. So I will select this. Now this is the shape that I have selected. Then I will say shape fill. I will say no fill because I don't want a fill. Now outline, I will change the color, whatever color I want. Let's say I'm choosing a color green. And then the thickness of the line also I want to change. And here comes the thickness. Now if I want this thickness, okay. Otherwise I want to change the border into different lines. I will pick up those lines and choose the outlines of it, more outlines like dashes, etc. So for example, I will pick up this one, this dashes, it comes now, but I want even the thickness here. So I will go and pick up the thickness. I will say 3 point. Now, same thing I want in a double layer. So I will do Control D, shortcut for duplicating, and then readjust it such a way that it is fitting inside, and I will drag it and set it together. Still, and here little more adjustment so that it is uniform. Now I will select this and this, both of them, and say Control G. Control G is shortcut for grouping, and then I will do Control C. I want to copy it because I want all the slides to have. Do you see all the slides automatically get the border? And that is how you are going to do. And then you will say close the slide master view. Here is what you see. So every slide that you will have the border. This is one way of putting the border. Now again, I am going to go to view and I will go to the slide master and I will change this. I want to remove the slide border that I put. I don't want this border. I want a little different border. I will select it and remove it. Again, I will go to home tab and there I will pick up uh, another shape. I may pick up this shape, let us say, or no, I'll pick up this shape, rounded again, rounded. This is how I want it to look. So, and then I will again go and say no fill, and then I will do the outline as a thick outline of probably I chose a purple color, and then I will go and check it and take it the thickest one, and then here I will add effects. Now I want it to have effects, so maybe something like on to the present effect, probably shading, something like this. Up to us how creative we want, or probably a little bit of present. In present I will do a button like kind, no, it won't come. Button like it won't come because it doesn't have a border. So we want something with a border, probably, so use that and use the effects, probably, not soft. Yeah, probably you could use, uh, yeah, glow. Let's use the glow one. So it will be, this is the border by default. Now you can use this. And now when you close the slideshow, you will see every slide will have that as a border. So this is how you will insert a border. Up to you how fancy you want it. Or any image by, for example, I want to go, again I'm going to the slide master, and I want to insert my logo of my company. So let me go and select the logo. Here I go down and the logo is here. Let's go on to the logo. Here I have which place I want. I want it to be here. So I will just do it Control C and I will delete right now, delete it and go to the slide master, the main one, the main slide, and I will place it Control V. Here it is overtaking the uh, or I will, maybe I'll put it here somewhere here in the footer. So this is where I want for every slide. Now I will close the slide master. The logo gets included. So this is how we will include something in the master slide by going to the view tab and going to the slide master. Okay, so this is how you will insert. Now insert slide master, whatever you are going to insert a layout to it. Now you click and slide master and insert a layout. So up to you what you want to do. You can delete or rename anything you want. Even if you want to change fonts also, you can go and change. For example, I want to go and change this font. This font, if I go home, I will know this is Calibri Light. I want to select this and I want to say that this font should be Arial, uh, uh, probably Argenian. So by default, it becomes the Argenian, and I'm going to go to view and close the slide master option, slide master, and then I will say close slide master. If you will see now in your template, by default, you will have that uh, as your font that is existing. So this is another interesting way in which you can work on having designing your standard template for your organization by going to the slide master. Then you can have the view of the handout master also. You can see how it is given. Then you will close that and you'll also have other elements that you can use. Now, quickly let us look at the components here. You can have the ruler by default, which will come on the side as well as on the top. Then you can have grid lines, which will, I'm coming to the plain slide, grid lines, that small thin lines that you see, and also the guides, dividing majorly the slide into 4 equal parts. So that is where you can, use the guides to be able to guide you which part of the slide do you want what. So I generally do not keep the guide and guidelines unless I am using images in a particular slide which I want to be placed at the right places in one particular area of the slide when it is divided into 4 equal portions. Then zoom in and zoom out is another component which you can select here and do it, or you can go on to the bottom right where you see a plus and a minus sign. There also you can do plus and minus and increase and decrease the size. Fit to the window, that is another option, how big the window is. Now, why do we use this fit to the window is that we can do remove all the thumbnail and just collapse it, and plus even the ribbon we can collapse it. See, then this actually fits into the slide. So that is the advantage. Now, how do I get my ribbon back? I click on any of the tabs on the top and then I see a small pin here onto the right hand end of the ribbon. I'll click on that and that it gets fixed to the screen. So that is how we are going to use. Now these are the elements that we have in our basic terminologies, tabs, ribbons, etc. Okay, so let us quickly go and so let us now quickly look into the other components. Now I had opened this slide. Now this is a comparison slide. Here you can actually, for example, Microsoft PowerPoint. So I'll just put it as PowerPoint. And then here, what am I going to talk about? The tabs and then and the ribbons. These are the two headings that I have for them. So under tabs, what do I want? I can directly use the tables. I can insert the tables by number of columns. That can happen. And how do I add more? I will come to the last box. I'll put the cursor there and say tab. That is how I add more rows to it. Go to the last one and say tab, and that is how you can go on adding more rows. That is one option. Or else when you're opening the table, it says number of rows. There also you can directly increase the number of rows you want and say okay, you will directly have it. So that's another option. Then your graph, you can select the kind of graph. Let's take this graph here and say okay, this is what I'm selecting. Now once you select the graph, you have an option coming on the ribbon that what way you want it. You can give the names of the categories that you want here and the series so that it is useful for you to give the data and have the graph here. Whenever you want to rework on it, you can rework. Now, smart art. You can choose any smart art that is present here. And for example, let me go to this smart art, which is in our cyclic and say okay. So these are already existing smart art. So you can use it. Now change, you have multiple colors I'm picking up. Now I am making some presentation, but I want more than 5 components there. It is, let's say 6. So you will do Control C, that is copy it, and then do Control V, it is paste. Like that you will go on doing Control V, you will have multiple options coming in. So that is the way you can add more elements to it. Now I am just going back on finishing this. So that is how the smart art can be added. Then comes your picture edition. Picture edition, from that, here you can directly go, double click, the picture gets added. Now, when the picture gets added, I told you the format tab gets open. Click on the format tab, then you have different elements that comes, and basis that you can use all of them for your for picture. You want a border, what kind of border you want, what color you want. For the picture you want any effects, so you can go and select the effects. Picture layout, how do you want? Do you want it to in any ribbon, whether you want it to arrange it in front of it or back? So click on front, may bring it forward, bring it front, all that. And selection pane also opens it here. Now for you, selection pane will be important when you are doing more animation, etc. Right now we don't want to work on it. Now